Hey, I'm Justin. I'm a writer. I live in LA, and I just signed a contract to publish my very first novel, American Limoncello. I'm very excited about that. I just wanted to start up a channel that is going to tell how I got here and sort of track the next year of publishing that's coming up. This is all very new to me, very excited to be starting this thing out. A little bit about me. I live in LA. I've been in LA for 19 years. Um, I moved out here originally for acting. Uh, the first 6, 7 years I was pursuing acting. You recognize me? No, no, you do not. Um, and I switched over to writing um, at the suggestion of a friend, and I fell in love with it almost immediately. And I used my GI Bill. I was in the military for a number of years. I used my GI Bill to go to UCLA, and I took every single writing class that they had there: novel classes, television writing, feature writing, short story, flash fiction, poetry, character breakdown, pilot study, all this stuff. And it really helped. 12 years later, I have a number of screenplays that have been ignored and and a novel that has been ignored up until about 3 weeks ago. It's tough if you are a writer, if you've gone through any sort of creative endeavor to get people to look at your craft. It's tough. I finished the novel. It took a long time to get there. It was stop and go, stop and go. But I finished it like 3 years ago. And the last 2.5 years, I've been trying to get it in the hands of, agents, and I've been doing the traditional querying process. And it's a process. Um, and it's a lot of rejection. Over 100+ rejection emails, and those are just the emails that the agents who write back. Half of them just don't write back. But it's a lot. It's a lot of no's. I got really good at reading rejection letters. My eye is trained to find the word unfortunately, and then I can move on. They'll send a 2-page paragraph rejection letter, but as soon as I see the word unfortunately, I know it's done and I can move on. You don't have to tell me I'm ugly and my breath stink. I don't need to read all that. Let me go. But that is part of the process. It's a tough part. And I'm a pretty stoic dude. I can take a lot, but years of rejection, not just with the novel, but 19 years being in LA trying to knock on doors can be rough. And you do make progress, but the progress doesn't feel like that until you get some distance. But expanding your circle, meeting the right people, getting into programs, uh, getting told no, trying and failing. It's tough, but you do see yourself growing. You get better at writing, with writing specifically. You get better at not just writing the story, but writing bios about yourself, synopsis about your story, log lines about your story, how to give an elevator pitch, how to say things that make people lean in and say, that sounds interesting. Because you never know who you're going to meet at a party or walking through the neighborhood. It can happen, and you get better through a lot of that rejection. But it is tough. Um, and that's how that's there was no magic to it. It was I submitted my work online, and I submitted to this company, Wicked Inc. That's the very kind people who made the offer. I'll put a link to their site in the bio. Uh, I reached out to them. They were open to submissions. They were not looking for talent with agent or writers who had agents, and they liked my samples. They requested the full manuscript. They liked that. We had a Zoom meeting, back and forth with emails, and they made the offer about 3 weeks ago. And I took it to some friends who are in the industry. You can't live in LA without knowing people in the industry, and they looked it over with me, and they said that this is decent. One friend who's a writing manager, how come she's not your writing manager? And don't worry about that. She said, you're going to be like all of my clients. and someday you're going to hate your first deal. But that means you're on the right track. And I get what she's saying. You got to get into the room. I don't think I'm going to hate this deal. I feel very good about this deal. It's very fair. They're a new indie press, as I am a new professional writer. So it feels right. I got a good gut. Very kind people, very professional. So far, once I signed, the first thing they asked me to do was to write a bio about myself, to write a blurb about the book, and to get some photographs so they can put a web page of me on their site. And I just sent that to them a few days ago. They're going to make the announcement. Time of recording, they've probably already made the announcement, but that's coming soon. So I'm excited about all this stuff. But I do want to share, because it's been a journey about the stuff I've done, and I'm very I have no idea what the next year is going to be, but it's going to be us ping-ponging back and forth and making my work better, and that is wonderfully important to me. The book isn't scheduled to come out until 2026. The publishing process is slow, but that's fine. So I'm here now in this. I rent space to read and write in this studio. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. But they have rooms where you can film stuff like this. So I wanted to take advantage of that and just share, because over the years I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on people who were just like me or just a few years in front of me, and they share their stories, their successes and their losses, and it does help. The rejection is cold and it makes you feel alone, and writers, we can be solitary lone wolves by nature. But it does help to hear other people's stories. So here I am. I'll be uploading, I don't know, weekly. I'm still figuring all this stuff out. This place is very convenient. Watch this. It's dope, baby. Yeah, that's not magic. That's not magic. That's a remote control, controlled remotely. So I'll be using this space to share this story. Again, I'm excited, and stay tuned. I'll be getting into it about the wonderful world of being a traditionally published author. Thank you very much.